At the meeting today was talking about wakefern and how they got so much money to stay in Elizabeth. But I brought up the fact, well, you don't have a ton of money to give everybody, so how are you going to attract other companies to stay or expand? And of course they never comment. They have all these organizations to talk about things and seminars and conferences, but we still have a very high unemployment rate. We have businesses are drying up, and they show you wakefern as a wonderful example of giving them $44 million. I would be a pal of Union County too if we gave me $44 million to stay around. Pat Moshe, Good Providence. I'll try to be fast. I have a few things. I have an analogy to bring forth to you. When I was in college, I had a roommate who took a girl on a date, first date, and at the end of the date he says, "Do you think she likes me?" I said, "Well, she probably likes your new sports car. She probably likes the fancy restaurant that you went to, and the popular Broadway show that you took her to. I'm not sure if she likes you, but I know she likes the food, the car, and the restaurant, the show." Now, why do I bring this up? Well, recently, wakefern in Elizabeth was given a ton of money to stay in Elizabeth. Now, the question is, does wakefern really like Union County? Does wakefern really like Elizabeth? And if you answer that question, since Union County and the state and the federal government don't have endless amounts of money to put forth to corporations, what can you do to make Union County more attractive for other companies to expand here or stay? Do we have enough skilled workers? And I would say we probably don't, because we have a high unemployment rate in Union County. So what are we doing about that? Do we have the necessary infrastructure improvements going on? If you look around in our bridges and roads and such, not enough is being done there. So we probably have to allocate more money to that and free it up from other things that we may not be getting our bang for our dollar. And also, how friendly are we in the business community? That means, are the taxes low enough for them to not be a burden on them to enter or stay? Are there common sense regulations there that are not a burden to people who are trying to have a business going forward? So is this something to contemplate? How attractive is Union County for business? The last few days, I've seen now hiring signs at the U.S. Post Office in Berkeley Heights, as an example, and I noticed that they're also in Scotch Plains and a few other post offices. At the Burger King in Scotch Plains, Route 22, now hiring. So my question is, how is it that some people work 2 or 3 jobs while others work at none when there are jobs available? So my question is, what are the Union County workforce departments, which there are various, doing to match people to jobs? Are we getting them down to the post office? Are we getting them down to Burger King? Are we getting them down to wherever their new hiring signs are? What are we doing physically, actively to do this? Lastly, here's a question for the economic development folks. Is Elizabeth, this town of Elizabeth, rightly sized? There's 125,000 people in Elizabeth, 1/4 of Union County population. Many years ago, Elizabeth had many, many blue-collar, factory, low-skilled jobs. It doesn't anymore, but we still have a large population there. So should the population go down, or is actually Union County propping it up? If there are no jobs there, and they're not going to come back, because if you have factories that disappear and you have 50 people working, you have an office, you have 1 person, you have a mismatch of population versus people. So in our programs that enable people to stay where they are we actually doing them a disservice? There's something to contemplate and think about. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
And of course they don't comment, and they just get their face in the pictures and they tell you how great they are.
You know what the interesting part of this is? I think they did this like about 1.5 years ago.
Yeah, it's old news.
It's old news, and yet it's showing up in this alliance just to show that they're pushing for jobs. So what did they do in the last 1.5 years then? You know, so this is old news. They stick old news in there.